This afternoon we had great races yesterday from the junior men and women, and now it's the opportunity for us to see the elite men. This is the elite men racing at the 2023 Europe Triathlon Cup in Yenişehir. This is the event that we were going to start the season with back in April, but as a result of the devastating earthquake that took place not that far from here, it was decided to move, not cancel, but to move the event. And praise was given by Pascal Salamin, the Executive Board member from Europe Triathlon, at the press conference to both the organisers, to the mayor, and also to the region, as well as the Turkish Federation of Triathlon, for the confidence and the ability they had in not cancelling the race, but in fact moving it. And we then have, in fact, a wonderful opportunity to close the season. Athletes have raced last week many of the athletes have raced last week in Alanya. They then took a long coach journey, which was organised by the LOC here, and they moved along the coast eastwards, as far east as you can go, well, as far east as I've been, and turned up here in Yenişehir. It's the end of the season, so the presence of a huge amount of elite and junior athletes, as well as a massive amount of age group athletes from Turkey, descending on Yenişehir for this beautiful swim. The sea is absolutely gorgeous. You can see that there. What we're going to do is we're going to let you hear a little bit from some of the athletes we spoke to at the swim familiarisation. So over to the athletes. Here we are now with our final three athletes of the day, and we're going to ask them to introduce themselves and tell us where they're from.
Hi, I'm Sophie Alden from Great Britain.
My name's Marcus Day and I'm also from Great Britain.
And I'm Annabelle Morton and also from Great Britain.
Now, you've come here directly from the UK, or have you been somewhere else before?
We've come from Alanya, raced last weekend, and we came across yesterday.
And what was the race like for you, Marcus?
The race didn't exactly go my way. It was a big bike pack, but I had my fastest ever run split, so I can't complain. Hoping I'm in some good shape for this weekend, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
What do you expect to do in the water, the bike and the run?
Well, yeah, it should be a good race. There's lots of different people here. Some of them we raced last weekend, and then some new people that have come out. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a fast race because it's quite a quick course, and just see what happens really.
We've had a note that the water temperature currently is 26 degrees. Have you had a chance to swim out there yet?
Yeah, I just had a little swim. It is lovely and warm. It's like a bath, enjoyable. It's a bit more choppy than Alanya Sea, so hopefully that'll help break up the field a little bit more. But yeah, nice.
So, wetsuit or no wetsuit, which is your preference?
Well, personally, coming from a swim background, I prefer a non-wetsuit swim, but yeah, I've been really working on my open water skills and wetsuit swimming in Loughborough, so personally I don't really mind at the minute, but I guess considering how cold it is in the UK, I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of the nice warm sea at the minute. And
your position, what race number do you have tomorrow, on Sunday?
Number 19.
Number 19. So you're going to go for the left or the right? Which is your target area on the start mat?
Good question. Something that I haven't really thought about yet, but I think I'll see where everyone else lines up from and then pick a side.
Okay, I've always wondered, when you have a number that's number 1, it's clear. You go down to wherever you want. But if you're down at number 19 or so, does your coach tell you where to go, or do you just pick that yourself?
Normally, yeah, that will be something that I talk about with my coach before the race. And then, yeah, usually on the day I'll see where the fastest swimmers go and just follow them.
And how easy is it once you get into the water and you know who you want to be near, how easy is it for you to get to them once the gun has gone?
Well, it depends, because on these races we're all wearing the same colour hats, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to identify people. Obviously you've got the National Federation suits and stuff like that, but in these races again there's not necessarily one suit that an athlete has to wear. So in these races it's a little bit harder to identify. I know in the World Series races they have different coloured hats depending on where you rank going into it. But yeah, typically I'll try and group up with some of the faster swimmers that I know we can sort of work together and get ahead in the race. So we all know each other, and you can sort of identify each other by their swim strokes and yeah, sort of how they swim. Normally we sort of group up just round the first buoy anyway, so it's almost yeah, you know, survival of the fittest sort of thing. So yeah, once you get there, that's what it is.
Okay, Sophie, which is the best part of the race for you? Swim, bike or run?
I do enjoy a swim. I like to try and push the pace as much as possible, break away the field, break it apart. And I think, like, obviously you can't win the race there, but like you can definitely lose it. So I'd really try and take advantage of like swimming as my strength. So use it as much as I can, see what I can do.
Okay, a final message. I'll put the microphone right in the middle. A message for everyone back home.
Yeah, I hope you're jealous of the weather. I know I'm making most of it, so yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say good luck to all of our training partners in Super League this weekend in Neom.
Go Eagles.
Yeah, sorry Mum and Dad about the apple tree that fell over last night because of the storm, but the weather's lovely here.
Well, that's the most unusual comment we've ever heard in triathlon interviews about an apple tree. Well, okay, Team GB, have a great race on Sunday and enjoy the warmth, the sunshine and the hospitality of Yenişehir. Thank you. So for those of you who watched the women's race, it was in fact Sophie Alden who broke away with Léa Marchal from France and created quite some lead coming off the swim. They then rode just the pair of them for the entire 20k on the bike, creating what possibly could have been a winning lead, but there was a decision amongst the chase group of about 20 to work really hard. Not caught on the bike, but in fact caught on the run, with Franke Rust from Germany overtaking Sophie Alden quite early on, breaking away, not even looking back, and continuing right the way down to the turn point. Then we saw an absolutely phenomenal battle with Annabelle Morton from Great Britain, who we saw there. And if you look at her left shoulder in that interview, you can see that she picked up some gravel rash hitting the deck last week in Alanya. She didn't hit the deck at all this week here in the Yenişehir. She had a great fight with Franke Rust, overtaking her, allowing her to overtake again, and then on the final leg back into the finish line, she went straight to the front and came across the finish line, winning the race. Her career best performance. Franke Rust also onto the podium for the first time, and just behind her was Julia Brücke, also from Germany. A gold medal last weekend in Alanya, but this week a bronze. Going home from Turkey then, back to Germany, back to the chilly weather in Germany, she said, with 2 medals and great experience from Turkey. We've got a chance to hear from one of the German athletes now. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're now down on the beach again, and I've got a German athlete with me who's going to tell me who he is and where he's from.
Hi, I'm Till Kramp. I'm from Germany. Training in Saarbrücken, and I raced the last 2 weeks the European Cups in Ceuta and Alanya, and I'm looking forward to race here in Yenişehir.
Is this your first year here in Yenişehir?
This is my first year, yeah.
And you've been out on the bike course already. You've had a look at the swim course. What are your impressions so far?
Yeah, swim course, I think pretty usual for European Cups. It's an open water swim on the Mediterranean Sea. So a little bit wavy, but I think it's pretty fine. The bike course, I think it's pretty flat. I think it will be a very big group again, 60 guys, and hectic ride to T2, but yeah, looking interesting, yeah.
Out on the run course, it is a straight out and back. So there are 1, 2, 3 180-degree turns. How do you think that's going to have an importance in the race?
I think it's just the strongest runner in the field will win, obviously. So 180-degree turns are, I think, will not affect the race in any way. Just kicking down at the sea, and the fastest will win.
Okay, the water temperature we've just heard is 26 degrees. The air temperature 33. Definitely no wetsuits. For you, wetsuit is good or bad?
I take both. All my wetsuit swims were pretty good, but I can deal without wetsuit, so it's not important for me.
You raced last week in Alanya. How did that go for you?
Not pretty good. It's pretty dangerous to ride with 60 guys when you're behind all of the athletes. It's pretty hard to get up the front, but I had a pretty good race in Ceuta. Maybe I can put another good performance on this weekend, yeah.
Okay, a message for everyone back home in Germany who might be watching.
Ja, schöne Grüße an alle, die in Saarbrücken trainieren. Das ist die stärkste Gruppe in Deutschland und ich denke, das wird auch immer so bleiben. Schöne Grüße.
Okay, thanks. Recht vielen Dank. Danke. So from Tilkramp there, giving greetings back to everybody in the group, the triathlon group in Saarbrücken, which he says is the best in Germany. There may be those who would like to challenge on that. So our athletes there are about to be introduced. We've got a total of 63 athletes, 20 countries are represented. And we're going to run through these names as quickly as possible. From Kazakhstan, in the first position, Ayan Baysenbev, Nathan Garel from France, Erich and Jan Diener in 3 and 4, both from Germany, the brothers. Jonas Osterholt, wearing number 5, wearing the German uniform. Number 6, Louis Vitiello from France. 7, Antoine Duval from France. 8, Temirlan Temirov from Kazakhstan. 9, Guillaume Ay from France. 10, Oliver Turner, Great Britain. 12, Samuele Angelini, Italy. 14, the Turkish athlete here, be a big cheer for him, Gültigen Er. That's wearing number 14. Number 15, Noah Kunz from Austria. 16, Jimmy Lunt from Great Britain. 17, Darin Konyisbayev from Kazakhstan. 18, Boris Pierre from France. 19, Gergo Dobi from Hungary. 20, Raf Dobla from Belgium. 21, Sebastian Pascal, racing under the triathlon flag. He's moving from France to Romania. He's settled down in Romania. He's married a Romanian girl, and he's taken Romanian nationality. Watch out for him because he's fast on the run. 22 is Johannes Sick from Estonia. 23, Pierre Moraz from Switzerland. 24, Peter Dentener from Belgium. 25, Marlan Iskakov from Kazakhstan. 26, Marcus Day, we heard from him earlier in the interview there, Great Britain. 27, Victor Hune from the Netherlands. With 28, a late starter, Gjelt Panja. Gjelt was suffering from a bit of food poisoning, but he's back, all cylinders firing well, and he's been able to come back and take his position number 28. 29, Leo Fernandez from France. 30, Adrien Deha from Belgium. 31, Ben Fay from Switzerland. 32, Andres Prieto Villar from Spain. 33, Lailon Kemperman from Germany. 34, Delian Statev from Italy. 35, Artyom Zgayevskis from Latvia. 36, Philip Klamka from Czech Republic. 37, Niklas Keller, Austria. 38, Oliver Jani, Austria as well. 39, Armin Angerjev from Estonia. 40, Fabian Kraft from Germany. 41, Fabian Schunker from Germany. Then we have one of our Turkish athletes, 42, Enes Kızılcık. Then 43, Silas Schmidt from Germany. 44, Justus Töpper from Germany. 45, David Vollmann from Austria. 46, Neil van der Varenberg from Belgium. 47, Filip Michalek from Czech Republic. 48, Cameron Harris, Great Britain. 49, Linus Lehnen from Germany. 50, Boris Andreev from Bulgaria. 51, Matteo Vidal, France. 52, Davide Menicelli, Italy. 53, Tom Lerno from France. 54, Paniotis Antonio from Cyprus. 55, Matteo Peri from Italy. 56, Julian Anduesa Valencia from Spain. 57, Alexandros Dimitriou from Cyprus. 58, Kıvanç Sahinkaya from Turkey. 59, Burçak Özer from Turkey. From Bosnia and Herzegovina, number 60 is Belmin Godinjak. 61 is Gabriel Barats from Croatia. 63, Hidde Mollet from the Netherlands. 64, Emir Aracha from Turkey. 65, Valentin von Wersch from the Netherlands. And number 66, Burak Çaydaş from Turkey. Those, ladies and gentlemen, are your athletes. We've got 4 from Austria, 4 from Great Britain, 4 from Kazakhstan, 4 from Belgium, 4 from Italy, 4 from the Netherlands, 6 from Turkey, 8 from France, and a huge 9 from Germany. The signs you can see behind them, the big transition sign, the graphics here are really, really impressive. The LOC has taken inspiration from a Roman settlement, which is further along the coast towards the east, and they've created the swim, bike, run logos using those classical type figures. They really do look good. And later on we'll see the transition area. There's a massive, massive wall of these logos, these images behind the transition area. As the athletes, you see them turning to their left, your right, going down to the swim start. That's the way they'll come back from the swim, and they'll run in and they'll enter transition on the right-hand side. The arrow is there behind the athletes, that big arrow pointing them to the right-hand side. Huge, huge transition. Space, there's so much space here. It's a very well constructed course. The municipality here has embraced triathlon. This is the second year we've had the race here at this level, and it looks really good once again. We were able to hear opinions from the mayor and the regional governor at the press release, the press conference, and they were absolutely delighted to bring this international team here. International team, we have Turkish officials, Irish and Lithuanian officials. In fact, the blue vest you can see being worn there by our official, that's Mustafa Shirin. Some of you who've raced before will recognise him, and you might even have raced alongside him because he's not a bad biker. So he will be managing this part of the race. The head referee for this particular race is Carl Vikins from Ireland. Our technical delegate is John Petridis from Great Britain, well known to many people on the triathlon circuit. Our assistant technical delegate is Begum Özükren, and she is come all the way down from Istanbul. We had an interview with her, which was shown in the elite women's race. When she's not officiating, when she's not taking part herself, she's a fully qualified cardiovascular surgeon. But all the officials here, there's a small army of them, are being guided and educated on the job by John Petridis and his team of reliable officials. We've got Ian Hazeldine out on the bike. He's come all the way from Ireland. In this race, it's going to be quite interesting. We've got a very strong French team. The winner last week in Alagna was Nathan Gaël. He's wearing number 2. Number 7, also from France, was a gold medal winner at the European and Mediterranean, or European Cup and Mediterranean Championships in Ceuta. That's Antoine Duval. But wearing number 6, also from France, a gold medal winner in Melilla. Not a dissimilar course, very flat and quite technical. And then he took the silver medal last week in Alagna. So France is looking very good here, certainly to be on the podium, possibly even for the win. But they're going to be fighting against a very strong German team. And of course, Ayhan Baysenbev from Kazakhstan, wearing number 1, a phenomenally powerful young man. Gold medal winner in the 2023 Asia Triathlon Cup in Samarkand, and a bronze at the Asian Games not so long ago in Hangzhou. So that's Valentin van Wersch, Netherlands, the tall figure there. And the last athlete, 66, look at that lineup. The beach is quite a gentle sloping beach, which takes some quite some way. You'll see some of the athletes running, some of them using dolphin style entrance into the water. It gets deep at about 10-15 meters from the start mat. We had a false start in the women's race, and that athlete served a 10-second penalty in T1. It was a very good overhead shot, and it was very clear. And in the interview at the finish line, she was quite open about it. She said, "I knew I'd gone too early. I expected the penalty. I served it." And just behind the athletes on the right-hand side, you can possibly see those 2 yellow upright indicators, those boards. Those are the boards that they will sight on for the exit. So the heartbeats are in place now. 27.3 in the water, 33.2 in the air. Bit of a twitch there from one of the Diener brothers from Germany. But it looked a little bit better than the women's race, so we might not have any penalties. It's an anti-clockwise swim, 1 lap, 750 meters. Talking earlier to some of the LOC here, and they recognize the potential of extending the position of the boys. When you go beyond this turn point, you then leave the protection of the marina wall, which does expose you to a minimal current. It's nothing particularly, you don't have to worry about it. But it would give them the opportunity to extend the race to a 1 lap 1500 meter swim. So there's all sorts of potentials here for the organisers. So Marcus Day was saying that he would identify some of the stronger swimmers and try and make his way over to them. Watch out for the British uniform. Coming from a swimming background, he could well be looking for a good position there. Sophie Alden explained that she likes to break up the pace in the swim, and that's exactly what she did. She had a lead with Léa Marchal of about 15-20 metres when they came out of the water. Excellent conditions. The water quality here, they did the tests in the months leading up to the race, and the last test was done, I think it was on Monday, or was it on the day of the, well, very recently, and the quality came back absolutely perfect. I know it's been a bit of a concern to athletes around the race circuit about the quality of water, but here, beautifully clean Mediterranean water. Quite salty. All the athletes said certainly it was a lot saltier than they expected, which means that they're going to have a ever so slightly higher position. All the ships in the background, when the sun goes down at night, they light up, and it's magical. It really is. So some of the Austrian athletes choosing to swim out of the main group there, avoid the arms and the fists and the elbows. The concentration of the technical officials will be on that swim turn, and they will be looking very carefully to make sure that, let's face it, swim behaviour, what is it really? What we're looking for? We're looking for unsportsmanlike behaviour. And if you find there's an athlete beating the hell out of another athlete at the swim turn, well, that's not really being a sportsman, is it? So the athletes will be looked at very carefully. The briefing was quite clear. There's a specific part of the athlete briefing now that really does highlight the need to respect your fellow athletes. And it's going to be a bit of a bun fight as they go around that, because you haven't got the separation we had certainly in the junior races, and most certainly in the elite women's race. 60 athletes here, 63 athletes, and 20 nations. So 3 minutes into that swim. This is going to be about an 8-minute swim probably by the time they've finished. I think we just picked out there, which uniform was that? That was the Bulgarian uniform of Boris Andreev. On the right-hand side, the red uniform with a flash of green in it. That's the uniform for the Bulgarian Federation. It's not too bad as they go around that turn buoy. One of the athletes using a very, very carefully... look at that. Throwing in a bit of backstroke to get around the buoy. Good move. In the distance, you can see the seafront of Yenişehir. Yenişehir is in the southwestern part of Mersin. It's pretty much the commercial centre. There's lots of hotels, restaurants, bars, cafes, huge supermarkets. We're about an hour's drive from the main airport in Adana, which is in itself just over an hour from Istanbul. And once you get to Istanbul, you can go anywhere in the world. You can see in the distance there, the shoreline here is quite rocky, but if you go 15 minutes west, you've got beautiful beaches. So the leaders, having made that turn, will now be taking sight on those two upright yellow boards and powering away to try and break up the pack. We heard from the German athlete there, Till Kramp, that he pretty much expects it to be a big peloton and then a final run where the fastest athlete, the fastest runner, will make their way all the way through to the finish tape, which is effectively what we saw today with Annabelle Morton really putting the hammer down and having raced tactically and stayed in the peloton in the women's group, large peloton of about 20 who were working but they were unable to catch the leaders, then getting into a good position off the bike and really putting the foot down on the run. So nice to see our athletes not having to wear wetsuits. We're in October, and the water is 27 degrees. long tradition of racing triathlon in Turkey, pretty much kicked off by an inspirational Dutchman who went to Alanya on holiday, talked to some of the locals and said, let's have a triathlon. And because there were so many Dutch tourists who went to Alanya, it gradually built from there. And I think within Europe, you've got Almere and you've got Alanya. They are pretty much the longest, the oldest triathlons on the books. No real lead at the moment. It's going to be exciting in transition. So about a minute and a half, just over a minute and a half to go before we see them coming out of the water. A huge group of athletes now towards the final stages of the swim. Our timing team and our graphics guys will be getting together to see if they can get you the swim times, and as soon as they have that data and it's been checked, we'll get a graphic come up onto the screen, and we'll find out who had the best swim. We'll have the first 10 or so, and I'll do my best to try and pick out some names as they come out of the water and through that gateway. Will Marcus Day have found a good position there? That's what he was planning to do. Be good to see if he can put that plan into effect. But he's up against this incredibly strong French and German combination. So Vitiello and Grael, they are the ones to watch. They're coming here hungry. They're coming here with a gold and a silver between them. Great images there from the local TV team. They're up and out, and that's France pretty much in the front end. Germany, we can see as well the Swiss athletes coming through. That's Pierre Moraz, I think. If the camera moves to the transition area, we'll actually be able to see the first one. Marcus Day. Well done, young man. Good job we interviewed him. What a good swim from Marcus Day, Great Britain. Jan Diener there. Or was that Eric Diener? The two brothers are wearing 3 and 4, so that would have been, in fact, that was Jan Diener and Nathan Grael from France grabbing the helmet and chucking the goggles into the box. Struggling a little bit with the helmet fastener there. Losing time, but into the peloton. It's the bear to the lift, out onto the road. It's a mountain lion out on the road, and then the bike course. 3 laps, 6.6 kilometers per lap. Look at this, the way that the event has been created. The carpeting, it really lifts this event up. They've done so well to raise the profile of this event. The bike course, there are 3 180-degree turns on this bike course, right at the far end, the far eastern end, and then they double back. There's then a short venture off the boulevard for another dead turn, and then a final turn at the western end. This boulevard, beautiful tree-lined in the centre, trees on either side, palm trees, is one of 2 parallel roads. So what the municipality does is to close this large section. So Marcus Day, Tom Lerno, Jan Diener, that's your lead swimmers out of the water. So the municipality closed down this large section of road and then simply divert the traffic onto the other one, which is as big, if not slightly bigger. There, Gültekin Er from Turkey, one of the legends of Turkish triathlon, who's inspired so many other people in Turkey to take up the sport. He came from a swimming background. He's been the Turkish champion any number of years. It was in fact the Balkan champion back in 2019. Not having quite the swim he wanted. Last out of the water there, Matteo Vidal. 9 minutes and 14. That was the slowest swim. Gosh. But look at this, the power at the front. The Germans are there, the French are there, Marcus Day is in the mix as well. Beautiful tree-lined boulevard there. And there we had, that was in fact Pierre Moraz, that was the Swiss athlete we saw, wearing number 23. And I think that is going to be Gergo Dobi wearing number 19 from Hungary. Marcus Day there. So a group of 5 athletes working very, very hard there. If they can build the pace, get the momentum going, and if there's lots of communication going on, we know from the women, the elite women, they were saying that within that pack, the Germans certainly spoke to each other and tried to push the pace. We heard as well from Annabelle Morton. She was on her own, the only English athlete there, British athlete there, and she said the communication didn't work, so she was pretty much on her own. But now we see there's Moraz is shouting, Jandina is pushing ahead, Dolby is there, the Hungarian athlete, Marcus Day, and there's one other. I haven't quite picked out who that other athlete is. Behind them, the chase group, that's, I think, is that Temirlan Temirov? We had some problems with one of the drones. There was a bit of radio interference that broke the image up slightly, and we're experiencing that again, so my apologies. But there are, as you can see, the front is really nice and sharp. Dobby pushing away, making sure that the pace is not going to drop. For the junior races, we saw that the stronger cyclists were hitting those turns, accelerating into them, accelerating out of them, whereas the larger peloton had to slow down to negotiate it. In fact, that's Ben Fay from Switzerland. That's not who we thought. So Ben Fay, excellent. And that's one of the French athletes. Let's see if we can pick out which number. Oh, I say, that is Tom Lernoux from France. So the 5 athletes really working very well. There's a bit of communication going on there, and they're alternating the lead, which is a good move for them. Let's just have a quick look at who we've in fact got. We've got Jandina, gold medal winner in Monastir at the African Cup not so long ago. Big peloton behind them. That's where the threat's going to come from. Gergo Dobi. Good position for him coming out of the water. He's the under-23 gold medal winner at the Aquathon Championships, the world in Ibiza, and also in 2022 in Chamorin. So that's the power he had coming out of the water. Whether he can sustain that throughout the bike and the run remains to be seen. Marcus Day, we heard from him in the interview. So the distance we've got there is probably about just about 150 meters. And if the cameras are kind to us, we can, as you see, the athletes are moving out now. Very soon they're going to bear to their right, to our left, and that's where you see them coming off the main road and sweeping away. The course is like a long course with a sort of dogleg halfway around it, which gives that 180-degree turn once again. So 3 big turns on the course, 3 laps, dead flat. And as you can see, lots and lots of crowds. We've heard from the chief bike and from the chief run. The atmosphere out there has been phenomenal, with the crowds being really supportive, enjoying the free show of the closing race for the 2023 Europe Triathlon season. Now the athletes get a chance to glance over their shoulders and see. That's just under I'd say about 25 seconds. 25 seconds lead they've got. Now if we get a chance just to see in the background as the peloton comes round, yep, there they are. In fact, it's 18 seconds. I've got 18 seconds on my clock, so that's the time. They've got an 18-second lead. And a breakaway at the front there. I think that's our Spanish athlete who's just decided to push the pace. That could be Julen Anduesa Valencia. Or is it Andres Prieto? Marcus Day decides, oh, I think we'll push this pace a little bit more. Can the others use him? And can he use them? Can he bring them along? Is he going to ignite this race now? Yeah, he's looking over his shoulder, shouting commands. Come on, go to the front. Let's get it moving. Fluids going on. It is very hot out there. I'm in a tent at the end of the finish line. And it's like being inside a small oven. For the women's race, we had a little bit of a breeze coming from the sea onto the course, which was used by Annabelle Morton. She very cleverly used that. That's the area the cyclists are going past now. This area is where they will turn in at the end of the bike course, but 1 lap down. The breeze coming off the sea is quite welcome for them on the run, but it's not going to give them an awful lot of benefit out on the bike. Massive peloton. We've got nearly 40 athletes there, it seems. So 5 athletes at the front. We've got from Switzerland, Fey. We've got from Hungary, Dobi. From Germany, Dina. From France, Lerno. And from Great Britain, Day. The 2 French athletes have got an awful lot of work to do if they're going to have any chance of getting onto the podium here, because 5K run, if they don't bridge that gap, they're going to have to run at least 20 seconds faster than everybody else. And at the moment, it does look as if that lead group is working so well that they're pulling away. The coaches will be outlining the course. The design of the course is such that it's very easy for them to move around. On the sea side of this, to the left, there's plenty of pathways that the coaches can buzz up and down on, electric bikes everywhere. So they can then move around the course and let their athletes know just what advantage they have and what they need to do to bridge any gaps in front of them. Look at that classic shot from overhead. We spoke as well last night to the president of Turkish Triathlon, Bayram Yalçınkaya, who was absolutely delighted. He was delighted because the race was here, but also in line with the 100-year celebration in Turkey, history was made yesterday by the first ever gold medal at a European triathlon event being won by a Turkish athlete. We've just heard from the head referee Carl Wiekens that there will be a penalty out on the run course for athlete number 25, Mairlan Kiskakov from Kazakhstan. He had put his swim cap and goggles into the box, but he put it into the wrong box. He put it into number 23 when he should have put it into his own box, number 25. So he will in fact receive a penalty out on the run course of 10 seconds. The numbers will be clearly displayed, and next to it will be a letter, and that letter will tell him whether it's equipment, mount line, dismount line, or anything else. So our leading group of 5 just hit the turn point. And I think in a moment we're going to be in a position to hear from one of the coaches. So when the studio is ready, we're going to get a small interview coming up onto the screen.
We ready?
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on to our next interviewer. And would you like to tell us who you are and where you're from?
I'm Andrea Gabba, I'm coming from Italy, and I'm coach of Italian team since 2000. But I have also a part of my life that I was coach of Turkish national team. So I'm really happy to be here in Yenişehir and to follow the Italians under 23 and junior guys in these important events. This is important for me.
It's good to see you back here, Andrea. And you've been part of triathlon for so long. You're now seeing, this is the second year this race has been held. Is it good for you to see development of new races?
But for me, it's really important to see the development of new races. Turkey had in the past a lot of very nice races, but I think that the work that is doing Europe Triathlon is really important for the development. And what I really love about the work of the European Triathlon is that there is a Junior Continental Cup, an under 23 ranking and elite ranking, and also a ranking for the team, for the national team, and it's very good. And we had also 2 very nice European championship, of course the standard distance and the sprint distance in a perfect format for the youngest, that is similar to the eliminator, semi-final and final. This is good for the young.
The other thing is, you've had a chance to go and look at the course. What do you think about this course?
This course is quite easy. I'm sincere. I'm really sincere. It's quite easy. But at the end of the season, and in a development country like Turkey, in a race that come a lot of guys from new nations that approach the triathlon, I think it is perfect. The weather is perfect. The course is flat and good for the youngest, and of course also the run. The run will be a good run, and I think it will be a run race. But of course, in triathlon, it's important to run fast, but also to swim fast and to ride very well.
You've had a look out so far. You've watched your athletes swimming. There's a bike familiarization taking place tomorrow. How many athletes have you brought with you from Italy?
More than 10. We are here with 3 big groups: the junior men, the elite women, and the elite men. With the junior, we are here to improve our skills. It's a development part of our job. And of course, we come here with a lot of under 23 because the European Cup is a perfect race for the under 23. But I want to say that as Italian coach with the elite, we are here to do a very good race, and I hope to get some medal.
It's good there to hear the perception of a very experienced coach, and that was Andrea Gabba from Italy. We've just had a bit of a time check there. The initial breakaway of the 5 athletes created a lead of 18 seconds. That now appears to have grown to 26. And I'm joined now by our executive board member from Europe Triathlon, Pascal Salamin. Have you seen the race so far?
Yes, I was at the start. I mean, it's a very interesting race because I did take the timing too personally on the street, and it seems that the group is managing to grow the difference and the gap, and that's quite interesting. And I've noticed as well that some people from the 3rd group who joined the 2nd one are now the one leading the 2nd group and doing the first, the most of the work. So it's quite interesting.
It's a huge peloton. We've got about 30, I think 30 plus athletes in there.
Yeah.
The interview we had quite a bit earlier was with the 3 British athletes. Sophie Alden, who led out with Leah Marshall in the women's race. We had Annabelle Morton, who won the race, and we had Marcus Day. And he was explaining that when the swim start is, when it happens, he likes to try and find the fastest swimmer. Well, he was the fastest swimmer today with an absolutely superb performance. And he's holding it together out there on the bike, working, as you said, very well with your athlete from Switzerland.
Yeah, Ben.
Gergo Derby from Hungary, Jan Diener from Germany, and the young athlete from France, wearing number 53, is Tom Lerno. So you've got those 5 athletes, and the communication does appear to be working a lot better. The view we got there is that final western end turn. They've almost completed 2 laps. What can you tell us about young Ben Fay?
The first thing I noticed before is that the one who was trying to organize the group before the second group was another Swiss guy, Pierre Morat, and Pierre was shaking hands in order to motivate the guy to take the relay. So I found quite interesting that in the front group people were working. Now it seems that they are much more organized.
I think that's Gültekin Er on the front, the Turkish athlete. He's really pushing some pace there.
Yeah. Ben is a young athlete, started a very young triathlon. He's in a team where they work hard together. His friend Fabio Nauer, who was traveling with him from Alanya, got sick and was in the hospital with another guy from the Netherlands. And so everybody was a bit worried that we know that there was some food poisoning a few days ago, and that a few of them would be sick, but in the end the only one is Fabio Nauer, who couldn't race today.
Well, I hope he has a swift recovery. We know that Gjelt, the Dutch lad, he successfully, his body fought it off, but he did promise if he felt in any way slightly ill in the race, he wouldn't try and go to the finish. So it was very wise to make that decision, because with this heat, we gave the water temperature and air temperature out. It's 27.3 in the water and 33.2 in the air.
It was interesting, the start. I don't know if you could see it well because I was on the shore. We really had 2 groups swimming. And it seems that the one starting on the right had a kind of a straight line. I don't know if that appeared on TV. And the other one were arriving kind of pushed a bit toward the left and had to do another line to reach.
It became a little bit congested at the turn point. But look at that. This is very, very good work together. Now it's interesting because you've got 5 athletes there, only 3 medals available.
Yeah.
And it will be very interesting to see how that unfolds on the run, whether they can hold that lead, because the 2 French athletes in there, Vitiello and Grael, are coming here absolutely on fire, having had such a great race in Alanya, and we know that they've got the pace on the final run.
Yeah, I remember that Ben Fay did quite a good race at the military championships earlier this year. But for him, it's kind of a first serious season in the elite. He's very young too. He's 2003, so it's kind of the young athletes coming now, but probably will be shorter in terms of speed on the run.
We've got a few athletes who raced here last year, but many of the names we saw from last year have been lured away by races on the other side of the world, which is a shame that, that there's that clash, because when you look at what's available here and the value for money that is available to the athletes and to the federations, it's a shame that we have lost quite a few athletes. By the way, there's not a plane taking off in the background. It's just a wonderful, well, it's a MiG, isn't it? I think.
I could see that there is already number 25 having a penalty because equipment was out of the box.
That's
I know that 3 German were having a penalty. Is the German one who is in front now one of the guys who had...
Oh! That's Gergo Dobby, I think, who went down. They're down to 4.
Yeah, that was said by John Petridis, the TD on the race. That was the first thing that was said on the briefing. Be really careful. It's straight lines, but those curves, the floor is really slippery, and with the heat, it's really kind of dangerous. And he mentioned it a few times. And I mean, once you're in the race, I mean, those things happen. I just hope we don't have such a crash on the big group, because that could be kind of a catastrophe. But then the first group will be now kind of disorganized, a bit scared.
Yeah.
They were all looking behind to check their colleague, and now you see That's not a good sign.
No, if they slow down like that, then they will be caught. And fortunately for the peloton, although they will see him, he slid quite away to the outside part of that turn.
Oh, they're talking.
The turns here, Pascal, when you look at the course, the width of the road, the quality of the road surface, this is an absolute gift for triathlon, isn't it?
Sure, but on the other side, it's very hot. You have those 360-degree curves, and you have the tendency to ride very fast. So the confidence is there. You have space, so you take the curve full speed. But it seems that the second group is somehow reacting the same. They were really trying to.
Well, we just hope that Gregor Dobby is okay there.
I think he's okay. It was really a kind of slip.
A slide, yeah. We've
slide.
also got a shout from the officials that number 40 from Germany, Fabian Kraft, is a DNF. I don't know what the circumstances are, but that's number 40 who's pulled out of the race.
And did number 4 have a penalty at the first transition or not? Because that would be interesting. Then he would have managed to do it very fast. I doubt it, but we must remember that 3 Germans got a 10 seconds penalty on the first transition.
Oh, that was because of the...
they were late to the briefing,
yeah.
So then they kind of had a taxi accident and found another one, kind of bad luck, but they arrived too late.
So we're back to when COVID was raging around the district, around the world, all of the briefings were done online, which made life quite a little bit easier. It made life a lot easier for the athletes and indeed for the officials. But now we've gone back to the old process that everybody's familiar with. When the athletes have to go to the briefing, if they are unable to attend the briefing, they have to inform the technical delegate. And how do you inform the technical delegate? Well, his name or her name is always on the event page, and they can click that and find the contact details. Also, the contact details are in the athlete guide.
But you're mentioning the online briefing. We also that would be a very good idea. But the difficulty at the beginning were that according to where was the race, it was very difficult to find some Wi-Fi line to be able to watch the briefing. And we were never sure that the people were really watching it.
So still at the front there, we've got our surviving athletes: Ben Fay from Switzerland, Jan Diener from Germany, Tom Lerno from France, and Marcus Day from Great Britain. Taking that turn now. 4 athletes, 3 medals available. They've hit the bottom of that turn. This is not an incline at all, it's dead flat.
John had the tendency that it was kind of breaking the rhythm. He was saying that before, and it's flat, yes.
But it does break up the rhythm, because there's, particularly for a large peloton like that, who've seen one athlete go down, they will be approaching this knowing that it's being in the middle or the back is not the best place to be. You want to be at the front, and we can see there's a movement on the outside just to get that extremely safe position going into the corner. But then if they... So I've got 45 seconds. 46?
I have 43, so we kind of agree.
Okay, so it's around about 43 seconds.
43, 44, but I mean it's still increasing, even with the slip.
18 seconds, 26 seconds, 43 seconds.
Yeah.
43 seconds over 5K. I remember Sergio Santos, the great Portuguese coach.
Yeah.
He had in his brain, he had the calculations, and he knew from looking at the athletes in the peloton, he could work out what they could afford to lose on the bike.
Yeah.
43 seconds is an awful lot over 5K, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, some of the guys would be, I don't know all of them, and I haven't checked their running times. Who is
it's one of the Spanish athletes.
Yes, one of Spain. But I think some of them will be probably under 15 minutes. Depends on the junior race. Female junior race was quite slow. There were more than 20 seconds, but there were some of the one I know were kind of on their timing. Let's see here.
You had a chance last night to speak at length with the president, Bayram Yalcinkaya, and I explained already to the audience how very happy he was.
He's really happy. He's kind of a fresh president, bringing ideas. He's an ex-athlete, like you mentioned, so he knows the things. But on the other side, he wants to learn and get information. So his strategy at the moment is very much orientated against having a lot of international events. Turkey, as I said yesterday, is going to have 4 events, international events next year. And he would be happy to have even more.
So into transition now. This is where they cannot afford to make any mistakes. Marcus Day in his position there. Shoes are on, and is he going to be the first out? He's well done, Marcus Day. First out onto the run with Ben Fay just behind him. Ton Lerno having a long run out of transition to catch up now. So Great Britain, Switzerland, and Germany taking the lead on the run.
Yeah.
Now athletes moving to the front.
Ready. Yeah. Everybody's out of the back. It's a tight curve.
But it's a beautifully carpeted and signed area. It really is. Just picking out there from Italy, that was Delian Statev. His standout performance was that victory in Cagliari back in, I think, 2018. Since then, he's been struggling to find that same level of form.
Yeah.
There are Pascal with the try on the back on the backside, moving from France to
what a
Romania.
Nice name.
Yeah. He can. And thankfully, Gergo Dobby is still there. He managed to get onto the back of that peloton.
It's strange that they show us the back of the transition. Would have loved to see who are the one doing from the second group really hunting the other ones. I mean, some of them are really motivated and it's running fast. Yeah, definitely.
The good thing about the course, the way they've designed this, they've got 2 water stations which they'll hit twice. So you've got effectively 4 water stations per lap. And on the way back, the sun is in a different position now, so they may, I don't know, they may get a chance for a little bit of shade. Looking at the flags, the wind has dropped. So the wind that Annabelle Morton said she used, taking a little bit of shelter behind Franco Rust, the German athlete, that appears to have gone now. The sea has flattened off completely, and the wind has dropped. And
the strange thing here is that a lot of people are speaking German. And they are speaking German because this city, Yenişehir, is having a strong link with the city of Neustadt in Germany. And the mayor of Neustadt is here. So all the German-speaking people from Yenişehir are with him, helping him to translate. And I never heard so many people shouting for Germany on the first transition. That was very interesting.
In fact, one of the guys who was helping interpret last night is actually learning German as well.
So interesting to see that, I mean, what we see now is just after transition 2. So, of course, things have moved, have changed. We've seen that in front of the second pack, there was someone who did already kind of a 10 seconds break. So running very fast behind the first one. And we'd like to have an overview with the drone in order to understand the distance.
Yeah, where the positions are.
Yeah, and if how the 4 first one are doing together. I mean, we've seen that the French didn't do such a great transition. He was fourth, but he was running fast, and I think he must have much have caught the other one already. So okay, this is Ben Fay, and
so that's a good position for Marcus, standing or running just on his shoulder. When you look at the classic races, the 10K races, the Olympics and World Championships, being in that position on the shoulder always appears to be psychologically you're controlling the race, even though you're not in the lead. Marcus Day grabbing water, Ben grabbing water.
Yeah. Yeah, and look at the arms. It seems to be okay. I could see the feet of Ben. I don't see.
It's quite a relaxed running style.
It's
a lot bigger.
Be quite relaxed. I have the impression they heard us. Because what is interesting is when you compare the guys preparing for those type of distances, their feet are really catching the floor with the front. And then the issue is that when they go to longer distance, it's much more difficult to hold the pace, and then they have to kind of change the way of running.
As you can see, this is one of the aid stations which can be used on both sides.
So we see the front on the right, and then you see behind the German one is something like 5 meters away, and I think the French one is a bit between. But we noticed that already some people from the second group already are on the really close to the French one.
So at the moment, Luis Vitiello, he's got some work to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where the 45 seconds will play a big role.
That 45 seconds will, of course, have either extended or reduced in transition, depending on how successfully the athletes at the front end were in getting through.
Yeah.
And it would be, we'll have to try and see if we can do
Seem to work together.
I'll use a piece of string for this one, shall we?
Watch the feet, really clean.
Yeah. But two completely different physiques there.
Yeah. Oh, just for information now, Paul is talking with one of the head referee of the race, passing him the secret informations about what is happening now. Are there any penalties? Are there any technical difficulties somewhere? So we're gonna get the news in a few seconds. So the group has totally spread over the track now. We noticed that we have people everywhere. The two, Marcus and Ben, are really working together, trying to keep the pace, see the way they breathe. Marcus is really opening, having a face which is not that relaxed. Ben is not expressing a lot. He's always like that in his style, so you don't really know if he's about to die or if he's about to succeed, but it's quite interesting.
And Marcus is looking at his feet. He's just having a look at the feet, so whether that's...
It's totally flat, but it's a hard surface. I've been running a bit on that surface yesterday and today. It seems that like the blue would be kind of rebounding, but that's not the case.
So our leaders there, gold and silver at the moment for Switzerland and for Great Britain. Coming towards the end of that first lap. We've just heard as well that number 60, that is Belmin Godinjak from Bosnia-Herzegovina, is also a DNF off the bike. So that's athlete number 60 and athlete number 40 have decided to pull out of the race.
Yeah, or hopefully they didn't all fall, because we noticed really that I was afraid and worried that the first group would be suddenly really concerned, and we could see that in the picture due to the fall of their colleague. But probably it impressed more the second one, because they saw him really on the floor, and the other one probably only heard him.
Well, I think if you look at the way that the lap times, 18-second lead, 26-second leads, and then 43, that was a period of deliberation.
Yeah, they must have seen him falling in front, which is probably much more impressive than hearing the noise behind.
Yeah. So Marcus Day deciding to up the pace.
He's attacking, yeah.
Quite an early time to go.
There was probably... what was the winning time for the lady?
It was under the hour.
Under the hour,
it was.
So probably were on the...
They ran 7:15. The fastest run was 7:15, and that was from Annabelle Morton.
It would be 15 something, yeah. Now. Yeah, so he's arriving at the U-turn. You see the penalty box. The two are together. The German one is right behind Ben.
The Undina. So Undina is in
That's
that
a good
third
picture.
place.
And the
look
French
at that.
one.
Is that Tom Lerno?
This could be the one that was in the first group, but there is someone just behind, so I don't know. We will check now.
Lerno and Angelini.
Yeah.
Ho, ho.
Running fast, huh? So it's definitely not over. Those two could still be on the podium.
I think if you look at what Angelini has done there, that
and
really
you see
is...
Pierre Morin, the second Swiss, is there. Pascal, that you mentioned before, which I love the name, is passing in front of the penalty box. Big group here. Is the French one and the second Swiss.
Is it Angelini or Angelini? Angelini.
Angelini.
Yeah, okay. He took a gold in the Kitzbühel race, which is not an easy race at all. So clearly he's got the pace.
But Paul, you speak so many languages. Don't you speak Italian too?
I get completely confused after a while. the brain goes into a bit of a meltdown. Then I begin to have self-doubt. Terrible thing.
I have the same situation. When I'm speaking Spanish, I'm mixing with Italian. It's a nightmare.
You'll be doing the interviews at the finish line for the elite men. And after that superb performance yesterday, when we had... if you get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, go to the Europe Triathlon YouTube page, and you can see all of these races once again there for the juniors. But we had the interview with the two Kazakhstan winners in the junior men's race. Full of emotion. One, I think he was very glad he was hiding behind his glasses, because he broke down. There were tears of joy. It was a wonderful interview.
So much emotion, and the guy was crying, thanking everybody on earth for his success. I mean, he was second, but he was a bit younger than the other one. Really impressive, and think that those guys have difficulties to do races because they have only 2-3 during the year. In Europe, we offer 16 junior races, so that's why so many people are coming from other continents.
So Marcus Day, Great Britain, having spoken to him before on the swim familiarisation, and quite fortuitous that was, because he told us all about the tactic of finding the fastest swimmer.
How old is he?
Marcus, let's have a quick look. Marcus, he's studying at Loughborough University at the moment, and he was born in...
Because that's
2001.
2001. So you see, he's a bit older than Ben Fay, but we see that's the category. Like I always say, those are races for the U23.
Well,
this is the moment you want to go to the top.
So if Marcus Day wins this race,
Yeah.
or he's on the podium, then his position in the overall race will count not only for the elite but also for the under-23s.
Yeah. We have two rankings, and I think. I mean, elite, the best one have the tendency normally to go to World Cups, then to WTCS. But the U23, they have to start somewhere, and this is definitely the place to start. You have to be on the European circuit in order to show your progresses, and that's why we do those races. We want to give them the opportunity to jump from junior to the best elite.
Well, it's nice to see that Europe Triathlon has recognised that, because all too often, from the step up from junior to under 23, and then they go to the elite, they then get lost in this massive, incredible talent. But by Europe Triathlon recognising the under 23 category and rewarding them with their own points system, also with a cash incentive, because Europe Triathlon is offering money to the under-23s.
Don't ask me how much. I'm very bad at money, and that's what everybody is saying and complaining, because we have a lot of things to do. Hey,
that's not too far. There's
not too far. The German
15
one
meters.
is not breaking, and wow, some people are coming.
So that's
the
Tom,
French and the
Tom
Italian,
Lerner and Angelini from Italy. This is going to be some battle to the finish line. So Marcus Day,
1.2 kilometers, right? To the end. So, what, 4 or 5 minutes? So in 53 minutes,
that's going to be fast.
Yeah.
The pressure on Marcus Day at the moment
Looking
must
for water.
be immense. Did he get it?
Yeah, they did, but somehow they, from what I saw, they were kind of even braking a bit in order to catch the bottle. So
yeah. But
that's a good image.
Has Ben seen that weakness, do you think? Did Marcus get the drink? If he didn't,
He
then
did.
Ben will... He did?
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely images with the shadows, aren't they?
I'd like to see the drone would be behind the fourth one, because then we would see who is coming from behind.
Your experience of producing images like this, Pascal, the fact that we can now use drones so much more freely than in the past, it really gives Europe Triathlon the opportunity to film an event, promote the event, and show to everybody around the world just how good triathlon is.
Then you need a good, first you need a good producer who check and get the good crew. The gap is closing. Just count the lines and watch that. And then you need a good director who understands the race, because if the person, and I've had that this year, is coming from football or volleyball or hockey, I had that in Austria, then those guys have the tendency to always follow a ball or follow something in a closed part. Triathlon, if you are not at the right position with the camera, you're offside, and then it's very difficult to catch up. Here it's possible because you have some possibility with the motorbikes to kind of move forward, but on some cases you have no cameras because the technical crew was put offside, and it's quite often on the run. But here with the drone, if you have a good drone pilot, but this one you can notice is really wide angle, it's kind of making good images, but he's not telling us the story. We have no idea now what is happening in front. And I've seen Carl coming with a list of numbers that probably it is Lotto, and we're gonna know bingo. We're gonna know who is winning, because Paul is crossing numbers and he's saying who didn't finish. Quite a list of athletes. Must be hot. So now, where are we? Are those is it a group? It seems that it is the two first one. I have the impression that
Marcus Day is under attack from Switzerland.
Yeah.
We just got a quick update before these two athletes make their way to the finish. We've got Nathan Grael from France, is a DNF. We also have...
Returning. Looking back, did you notice what he did? He was really turning back a lot, the full body.
Is that to see third place?
Yeah, I have the impression this is Marcus.
Marcus on the right, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And Ben did really look, am I in danger or not? So he's preparing his attack.
As Marcus saying, I really don't feel I've got anything left. I'll settle for silver. How far behind is the bronze medal?
No. The one turning back was Ben Fay.
Oh, Ben. Okay.
Ben was really looking. I mean, running sideways, and that's rare to see that.
We've also got the athlete Mayelan Iskakov from Kazakhstan, DNF. Then we also have Boris Andreev from Bulgaria.
No, that's the Italian.
And Melicelli.
That's the Italian.
Wow! What a run!
Angelini. So Ben totally exploded. He's now on the 7th place.
Well,
so Angelini was the one turning and watching behind. So I'm quite confident that Angelini will win.
Look at this. I think that's it. Marcus said, I haven't got it. I really haven't got it. But Angelini, what a fantastically timed attack that was. Andrea Gabba, I'm glad we interviewed him before the race because he told us everything about it. And Vitiello.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a phenomenal run.
On the last 1.2 kilometers. And again, you see, the drone was walking around, and that's the bad point about having drones because we missed the people coming back. So nice images, but no info on the races. And the poor Ben is finishing now. No, this is Pierre. So where is Ben?
Oh, crikey. There.
There.
Oh, he must have run himself so hard.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave you now, Paul, because I think it's my duty now to do some interviews. So I have what? English, Italian, and don't remember what. Okay, talk to you later.
Okay, so you're going to need Italian, English, and French. You can do that, Pascal. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a really exciting race there. And the way that the positions changed at the end with that enormous run from Samuele Angelini coming all the way from that deficit, 45 seconds as they came off the bike. Really, really timing his attack well. Marcus Day suffering in the final stages of that race. Absolutely gutted to feel. He looked over his shoulder. He knew, you could almost see that he knew there was nothing left in the tank. And looking over his shoulder just to make sure that silver was in his hands. But that incredible run from the French athlete Luis Vitiello, that was just amazing. So Louis Vitiello, gold medal at the race in Melilla, silver medals this year in Olsztyn, up in the northern part of Poland, and a silver medal last week in Alanya. Angelini, what a race that was. Absolutely incredible. Two gold medals to the Italian athlete this year, one in Kitzbühel, one here. What a way to finish the season. A huge collection of points. Back at Europe Triathlon headquarters, they will be putting these numbers into the machine, turning the handles and trying to work out exactly how the points will come together at the end of the season, and then exactly what the prize money will be. That will then be transferred. The prize money will be transferred to the athletes' accounts. Good to see Gergely Dobby there from Hungary crossing the finish line. Good that he decided to finish after that terrible spill out on the bike course just at the end of the second lap on that wide open sweeping turn. The sun is beginning to drop now. You can see the shadows are so much longer. The temperatures is just edging down a bit. It was 33 when we started. It's dropped to about 32 now, so quite nice. We've got the technical team trying to wire up Pascal Salamin, the executive board member from Europe Triathlon, so he can do the interviews at the finish. There's a naturally cool area. You can just see to the right of the picture where it says Yenişehir 2023. John Petridis identified that area because it just seems to be a little bit cooler than everywhere else. So he put all the water in that area to keep it cooler. The ground was wet and it kept cool, and the athletes are naturally heading there. And from there, they can be encouraged to move to the recovery area where refreshments and all sorts, small things to eat are available undercover. We're still waiting for the link. Basically, we've got a link that will join the microphone of Pascal in the finish area. Once we've got the link sorted, then we'll be able to take you down to the finish area. So if you hear my voice slowing down, it's because I've got 3 conversations going on in my ears. They're just giving a little bit of attention to Angelini, Day and Vitiello, making sure that they're okay for the interview. Huge amount of water available to the athletes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your finish list. Now, we've just had an update from the course. If you're following Gjalt Panja from the Netherlands, he's decided on the run that probably not a good idea to push all the way. So Gjalt Panja, wearing number 28, has pulled out on the run. That was the athlete who had food poisoning earlier this week, and probably a wise move just not to push it too hard today.
Yes.
Okay, down to the finish line and down to Pascal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. So, come ti chiami?
Samuele.
Samuele, com'è andata la tua gara?
No, la gara è andata molto bene, sono soddisfatto. È andata via la fuga, siamo scesi a circa 40 secondi dai primi atleti. Però
45?
Sì, 45 secondi. Le sensazioni però erano buone alla discesa del T2, quindi ci ho creduto, visivamente li vedevo che il distacco piano piano si assottigliava, ci ho creduto fino alla fine, ho deciso di arrivare a raggiungere il primo atleta sull'ultimo rettilineo, gli ultimi 500 metri. Una volta che ho visto che mi era agganciato, l'ho tenuto, l'ho portato sull'ultimo rettilineo, ho aperto il gas per vincere questa seconda Coppa Europa quest'anno.
Tu hai vinto anche in Alagna, è vero?
No, Alagna no, io ho vinto la Coppa Europa di Kitzbühel a giugno.
Ah, sì. Ok, non abbiamo visto la fine della gara, abbiamo visto fine 1 chilometro e poi tu è state 5.
Sì, ci ho creduto fino alla fine, l'ultimo chilometro appunto ho agganciato gli atleti di testa e sono riuscito a vincere questa Coppa Europa qua, che per me era un grande obiettivo per concludere la stagione.
100 metri della arriva, tu è andata così, controlla tutto, è stata la strategia?
Sì, è stata una strategia. Quando ho fatto la volata ho visto che ho preso un bel distacco, quindi mi sono girato, ho guardato dietro per gli ultimi metri e poi ho alzato lo striscione.
Ok, so congratulazioni e molto rispetto.
Grazie mille.
Okay, Paul, so I'm trying to find the second one now. I think it was Marcus, right? Number 3, okay.
So it would be wonderful if Pascal can possibly give us a very short summary of what our delighted Samuele Angelini from Italy said there.
Yes, can I speak now, Paul?
Yeah, go ahead.
So first I'm going to translate what Samuele just did. Samuele was saying that he was in the third group. He noticed that there were some 46 seconds gap before the second run. Till the last kilometer, he was moving on a slower pace, and then 1 kilometer before the arrival, he was starting to speed up in order to catch the group. At the moment we saw that on TV, at the moment he was about to attack Marcus, first he controlled everything, he noticed that the gap was there, and then he was focusing on Jan Marco. It's his second win this year, because he won Kitzbühel already.
So wonderful, and now on to our silver medal winner. Our bronze medal winner is Luis Vitiello.
Alors maintenant on va parler en français. C'est quoi ton prénom à toi? Louis?
En français
En français, ouais.
Ouais, c'est ça, c'est exactement Louis. Ouais.
Alors Louis, comment s'est passée ta course? T'étais dans le 3e groupe ou dans le 2e?
J'étais dans le second groupe, juste derrière l'échappée de 5 athlètes, il me semble. Et ça a été très dur dès le début. Je fais une natation pas trop mauvaise, mais ça a pas mal bagarré dans l'eau. Derrière, j'étais un peu malade cette semaine entre la course de l'Agna et celle d'aujourd'hui à Yenişehir, donc j'avais pas beaucoup d'énergie. J'ai fait ce que j'ai pu à vélo, mais j'étais un peu limite. Mais devant, bravo à l'échappée qui est allé au bout et qui a pris 45 secondes d'avance. Bravo à eux. Derrière, en course à pied, j'étais finalement pas si mal, mais j'étais limite pour jouer la victoire. Je suis revenu petit à petit, intelligemment. Et dans les derniers 500 mètres, j'ai pu prendre la 3e place pour plus la lâcher. Donc je suis assez content de finir sur le podium. Quand on voit comment se déroulait la course et mon état de forme actuel, c'est plutôt bien. Ouais.
Non, c'est fantastique. 46 secondes, à un moment donné, on s'est dit, il restait plus que même pas 1 kilomètre. On s'est dit, bon, ils vont réussir le coup, quoi. C'était très très surprenant. Et finalement, depuis derrière, vous êtes arrivé, toi et puis Samuele, à vraiment revenir sur le podium, quoi.
Ouais, exactement. C'était pas gagné d'avance, pas du tout. Je m'attendais pas forcément à ce scénario de course. Mais bon, il faut s'adapter. Et oui, quand on a posé le vélo, ça faisait loin. Je me suis dit que ça allait être limite si j'étais pas en forme aujourd'hui en course à pied. Finalement, on se voyait sur la course à pied, c'était les 2 allers-retours, donc vous pouvez jauger l'écart à chaque tour. On voyait qu'on reprenait du temps par rapport aux meilleurs nageurs, qui sont peut-être un peu moins bons en course à pied, mais avec l'avance qu'ils avaient, c'était vraiment pas joué d'avance. Et du coup, je me suis mis à fond dans le dernier tour pour combler le maximum d'écart. Et ça a failli le faire pour la victoire, mais on va dire que pour ma dernière course de la saison, je me satisfais de cette 3e place.
Et la chute, tu as vu la chute dans le premier groupe? Est-ce que ça a joué un rôle? Tu étais où? Tu étais derrière dans le groupe à ce moment-là ou tu les as vus tomber?
Oui, c'est ça, il y a eu une chute au 2e tour lors du virage au bout du circuit, sur le demi-tour. Et oui, c'est mon coéquipier de club et avec l'équipe de France aussi, Nathan Graël, qui est tombé. C'était un des favoris, il a gagné le week-end dernier. On avait fini 1 et 2 en début de saison sur la Coupe d'Europe de Melilla, donc c'était un des favoris. Et ouais, il a chuté, j'étais déçu pour lui parce qu'il semblait dans une très grande forme, il avait plutôt bien nagé aujourd'hui, alors que c'est pas sa discipline, on va dire, de prédilection. Et oui, il a fallu l'éviter, j'étais pas loin derrière, donc j'ai dû faire un écart. Notre athlète, je suis un peu foncé dedans, donc il faut être hyper vigilant, même sur des parcours pas forcément dangereux comme celui-ci. Il était plutôt sécure avec des grandes lignes droites, tout plat, une route large, mais il faut faire attention, une chute ça peut arriver à tout moment. Ouais.
Mais ça joue un rôle dans le 2e groupe. Moi j'ai l'impression qu'à ce moment-là, l'écart a grandi, que tout le monde s'est un peu relevé et regardé juste après.
Oui, c'est ça. Nathan, il est très bon à vélo, il est assez offensif, du coup il jouait un sacré rôle dans notre groupe pour essayer de rentrer sur le premier groupe. Donc perdre un élément fort, on va dire, comme ça à mi-course, forcément ça a joué parce qu'il y a eu un relayeur de moins dans le peloton. Et donc tout de suite, en plus on a eu un peu peur, on s'est dit oula, attention, c'est dans les virages, donc on n'a pas pris beaucoup de risques parce qu'une chute ça veut dire fin de course ou fin de saison dans le pire des cas, donc vraiment on n'allait pas prendre plus de risques que ça. Donc ça a un peu refroidi tout le monde et devant eux à 5, les virages ils les prenaient sûrement mieux que nous dans un gros groupe où finalement c'est assez dangereux les demi-tours. Donc oui, ça a joué un rôle mineur, mais un rôle quand même dans le déroulé de la course et dans la physionomie de course.
Alors félicitations encore et puis récupère bien.
Merci.
Well, we might get a short summary of that, but I've just seen Marcus Day making his way down to the finish area, having had a little bit of a rest, and with Marcus Day who'll be interviewed next, winner of our silver medal. But if Pascal's in a position to give a very brief summary. We've got Marcus Day just with us now, and we'll hear a summary of Louis after the interview with Marcus. Pascal, over to you.
Okay, thank you. I'm with Marcus, so after Italian and French, now we're gonna do the interview in English. So, how was the race? Wonderful, you could stay on the top till the end.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Euro Cups tend to come together. Like I raced Alanya last week, and it was a 60-man run race, which doesn't really suit me, being from a swim background. So it was really nice to have a 5-man breakaway. Unfortunately, the Hungarian athlete crashed, which brought it down to 4 for the last lap. So I knew I was really in with a good shot of making the podium. My runs have been a little bit up and down over the past few years, but I really put in the work this year, really knuckled down, and it's just amazing for it to pay off. This is my first international podium, so yeah, super happy.
Yeah, I noticed that on the last kilometer you had suddenly a change behind you. Ben went back, and suddenly did you feel when the Italian was just 1 meter away from you?
Yeah, so like obviously it's an out and back run, so you can see where your competitors are on the dead turns. I felt really rough on the first lap, and then I sort of got a second wind once I hit the second lap. I think I got a massive surge of adrenaline when I realized I was like, I can make the podium here. And yeah, I just found some extra strength in my legs, and yeah, I could feel the Italian guy chasing me down the entire time, and I knew that it was going to be hard to hold on to the finish, but I gave it absolutely everything. He was sat on my shoulder with maybe 400 meters to go. I knew I just had to go as hard as I possibly could to try and get to the finish, fight for the win. Unfortunately, he was a stronger guy on the day, but yeah, still super happy with second.
I think so, and I mean, I was so impressed with the strength that you had in the head on the bike. I mean, to increase the gap with such a big group, and some people were really chasing you. Wonderful. Did you feel extremely strong, or?
Well, I've definitely been putting in the work over the winter this year on the bike. I've got a new bike as well this year. I think it's just all sort of the little things that add up, and yeah, I just knew I had to commit, because sometimes all it takes is one little crash, one person to sort of give up riding in the second group, and all of a sudden the gap can go out. So I knew I just had to commit, and yeah, it paid off. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does, but yeah, today was one of those days, so yeah, super happy.
I mean, really proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Back to you, Paul. I think you don't need a translation for the last one.
No, thank you very much, Pascal. But it was delightful to hear from Marcus, and thank you for the work you've done there, Pascal. Marcus has he really has given a tremendous amount to this race today, and I know that Loughborough University will be absolutely delighted that they've got such a collection of high-performing athletes at the end of the season, and they're going to have some celebrations, no doubt. So Marcus Day with a silver, Annabelle Morton with a gold. Fantastic performances from both athletes, in fact from all of the athletes. It's been a very long season indeed, and we've now reached the end of it. It's not the end of triathlon this year, because there are, of course, other races around the world, but this is the end of the European season, and I spoke to Pascal last night at length, and it does appear that we're very close to being able to see the program, the full program for next year. In the background I can hear that they're getting ready for the awards ceremony.
Basın mensuplarını ödül töreni alanına davet ediyoruz.
And very soon the LOC will be having a team coming in to break down the venue, dismantle everything and return it to the condition it was when we arrived here a few days ago. So the municipality will see nothing, no trace of triathlon, only the fantastic memories that have been created by a very, very good media team here in Yenişehir. Go to their Facebook page, Yenişehir Triathlon. Go to the Yenişehir YouTube page. You can follow the events once again there, all of the events. And if you are interested in coming to Yenişehir or even Balıkesir, that's run by the same organisation, two very good events in Turkey. If you're an age grouper and you want to get an overseas experience, pop this onto your diary, because they have an age group race. The age group race here today, you could have raced at. You could have had the blue carpet finish, the experience of flying out to Turkey, down to Istanbul, take the hop down to Adana, or even fly, I think one of our technical officials flew out via Izmir. Plenty of opportunities. You can get out here for not an awful lot of money. Your hotels are very good value, your food is fantastic here, and the sea is wonderful. So that is your opportunity to come down to Yenişehir and put this on your age group racing calendar. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's from me. It's going to be a goodbye. because we're going to be dismantling here and moving across to the award ceremony, which I'm pretty sure will be recorded and will be shown on the Yenişehir YouTube page. Go to YouTube, find Yenişehir and click on their links. You'll find the live tab will probably give you the award ceremony. It's been great coming back to Turkey. Something like 14 years, no, the first time I worked down in Turkey was just after 2000, 2001. Triathlon has a great presence in Turkey. They really like looking after the athletes, and it's very evident from what we've seen here. The athletes have had a fantastic time. The parents, the families, the coaches, the managers. Put Turkey on your diary. Put Turkey on your diary for next year. From Yenişehir, from Europe Triathlon. It's the end of the season. We wish you a let's be the first ones. Let's be the first ones to wish you a happy Christmas and all the best for next year and all the best for the winter training. We'll see you on the start line in 2024.